Okay, so think about this. What is the craziest movie you think you've ever seen? Like, this could be in terms of storytelling or effects or just anything. I'll give you a second to think about it. Okay, your time is up. Maybe you said Natural Born Killers or American Psycho or pretty much anything by Rob Zombie. I just watched a movie that blows all of that out of the water. It's such a crazy, insane, random, depraved, what other adjectives did I write to? Violent. It's a movie you probably haven't heard of, and it's called The ABCs of Death. Let's be honest here, it sounds like a really low budget horror movie that's just, it sounds stupid. What it actually is the idea of it is so genius. I actually love the idea. It's basically a compilation of 26 different short films from 26 directors. So it was a 26 director movie, and every short film corresponds to a letter of the alphabet. It shows a way of dying from every letter. So a word that you can die from. Every short film corresponds to a letter of that. It's absolutely amazing idea. I originally thought that this movie was going to be kind of like that movie Holidays, where it's a compilation of short films, but every short film is a holiday, like about a holiday. But the differences between these two movies was Holidays was just kind of tame. It wasn't too violent. It wasn't really too shocking or anything. It was just weird. That's what Holidays was. It was just a weird movie. But ABCs of Death, I thought it was going to be like that. But no, this one's far more insane. So it's labeled as a horror/comedy movie, which it's not wrong, but most of it is intended to a horror audience. Some of it is funny. I'm gonna be honest, I was laughing towards some of it. Then the rest I was just kind of just shocked or confused or something. The movie came out in 2012. It has a runtime of 2 hours and 10 minutes to cover 26 short films, and it's set as not rated. I'll say what I think the rating could be at the end, because I know a lot of the rules for the ratings. Obviously, I'm not a professional. Now, what's going to happen in this video is that I'm going to go over what every letter is and what happened in the short film. Each one of the short films was only a few minutes at a time. The movie literally starts out with this. It says, the following feature film was created by 26 directors from around the world. Each director was given a letter of the alphabet and asked to choose a word. So it could be any word that the director chooses, anything. They then created a short tale of death that related to their chosen word. They had complete artistic freedom regarding the content of the segments. They had complete freedom. There was no restrictions, no boundaries. They could do whatever they want, or as little as they want. A lot of them did a lot. So since it's from all parts of the world, it's one of the only movies I've actually looked up, and the language is set as various languages. So there were some that were in English, some that were in Japanese, some that were in German, some that were in Spanish, French, a bunch of languages. So starting off with the very first one, I had to write all of them down here. I couldn't remember. Starting off with the very first one with A, yeah, I can't pronounce more than half of the directors' names in this, so I'm just gonna not say them. Sorry. A is Apocalypse. This short film really set the tone for the movie in saying that since they're so short, you can be very lazy with your storytelling and just get straight to the point. And by that I mean, it's literally about this guy who's just laying down in his bed, and this lady just barges into the room, just completely just opens the door like nobody's business, just runs right into the room with a knife, and just tries to go and freaking stab this guy, like cuts part of his hand off, like puts the knife in his throat. Like, why? It was in another language too. I don't know what language. In fact, I didn't even figure out that I had captions on that until after this one, so I had no idea what they said, and I really did not want to go back and watch it. So I have no idea what to say about Apocalypse. It was just so random. She like takes a pan of like oil or something and frying oil. She just runs out for a quick second. Like hold on, I'm gonna go grab something real quick. As he's just being there, stabbed like that. Sound effects as well, same sound effects. Comes in, takes the pan of hot oil, just throws it at his face. Like I don't understand what just happened in this movie. I don't know to understand. Okay, you know what? Okay, so I could tell you want to go to B. So B is Bigfoot. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Death by Bigfoot. That's not a bad idea at all. But the problem was it wasn't about Bigfoot. No, it wasn't. It's just this little girl who's just barging into her cousin and his girlfriend, and they're just, you can probably see where I'm going with this, and he just barges in, and then he has to put her back into her bed, and they try to scare her by telling a story about the abominable snowman, but the girl's too smart for them. She said, "There's no snow in Mexico." Basically, he told a story about the abominable snowman coming to Mexico and killing kids who aren't in their beds. And then the trash guy goes by, and then she gets really scared, and it turns out that this trash guy, who was just a regular human, killed both of them, and he wasn't the abominable snowman, and he wasn't Bigfoot, and the short film was about Bigfoot, and he was, I don't know. Okay, so moving on to C, this one was actually pretty interesting because it was about a guy who heard some noise in his house, so he gets up from his bed and goes and looks and then finds nothing, and then he goes outside and then he sees like some hole in his backyard, and he goes into that hole, and then he wakes up, and then he goes back into his house, and then he finds himself in his bed, and he was the one who made the noise the whole time. So it was very good how they set that one up. But the problem is that the quality was horrible. The quality was bad. It looked like it was made in the 80s or 70s or something. I thought it was going to be C for clone, but no, actually C is for cycle. So that one wasn't too bad. Okay, moving on to D. The one chosen here was Dogfight. Now, I thought it was going to be about planes, like, you know how like in wars they would have whenever the planes fight, the planes like shoot each other, it would be called a dog fight because like something about the engine sounding like the bark of a dog. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but no, this was about like an actual boxer who, it must have been some underground fight club or something. He goes up to the ring, it was just a floor, there's just the floor, and he had to fight against a dog, like an actual dog. And it was, oh gosh, it was so terrible to watch because I love dogs so much, and I hate just the way they set it up was so sad because it's a dog who punches dogs. Also the whole short film was in slow motion, kind of like how Zack Snyder makes all of his movies in like mostly slow motion. Yeah, it was like that, except the whole thing was in slow motion, and you just see him just going at, just bang, bang, just punching a dog in the face. And then you see like the dog being bruised and looking up and giving him those eyes. Oh my gosh, it was so sad to watch. I hated it. I hated watching it. But the thing was, the dog actually just bit him and took him down, and he was putting his mouth right over his neck when the boxer calls out the dog's name, and then the dog's on his side now. And then the dog turns on like somebody in the crowd who owned the dog. I don't know. It was weird. You could tell the director halfway in was like, "Oh, this is too sad. We got to change it." Okay, so moving on to E. I didn't like watching this one either, but you can pretty much assume though that I didn't really like watching many of these because a lot of them were really messed up. E is for Exterminate. Essentially, what it was about a spider. And I hate spiders. Like I hate spiders so much. If I see a spider on the other side of the room, I am so uncomfortable. Like even watching this, the CGI on the spider was so fake. It was ridiculous. But I could feel a spider just crawling on the wall behind me. Not literally, but I knew there was something there. So this guy is there's a spider on the wall, and this guy's just trying to kill it, but he can't seem to kill it. The spider falls on him, and he gets bitten by the spider. And then the spider just watches him for like the next few days, and then whenever the guy finally kills the spider, there's like spiders come out of like his ears and his nose, like just baby spiders just crawl out, and he dies, I guess. Just me telling you that, you know as much about it as I do. Okay, so F is pretty much the funniest one, like by far. It was actually kind of funny to watch because it was so random. This one took place in Japan. The director chose F to stand for fart. Yes, I know, it's absolutely amazing, genius idea. I wish I thought of it. But here, I mean, like, just come, whoever put this movie together, call me up. I will do it for you. I will make F fart again. I will reprise the role as fart. So, but basically what happened in this one was Japan, and, so you know it's gonna be weird. There's this girl who's like, doesn't believe in God because if there was a God, he wouldn't want girls to be like, embarrassed whenever they fart or something. So she lets out, just after she says that, she bends over, she lets out a massive one, like gust of wind, like a tornado or hurricane or something happened on the other side of the world. And then like her like choir teacher or something is right there and then just laughs at her. And then like randomly some massive cloud of black gas just comes over Japan and kills everybody, but those two escape. So like the girl and her teacher just escape, and then they like go full lesbian mode, and they like get all like weird against each other. And then the girl says that if she doesn't want to die of that gas, she wants to die of her teacher's gas. Like, oh my gosh, it was so funny. That's actually how she said it. And so the teacher agrees. So she just pulls down her pants and just farts right in her face. Just massive gas cloud, just super CGI cloud, but right in her face. And I'm not making this up. You can't make this up. And she dies. Death by fart. That was the best part of the movie, probably. So after watching that one, I start feeling a lot better about this movie, that maybe this is going in a better direction than I thought it would be. But then it goes right back down, plateaus, drop. The next one is G for Gravity. So that's actually a really good idea. I would totally make a short film about somebody falling off a cliff and being like, all right, here you go. Put it with your stash of other crap short films that was supposed to be a good idea. But no, this one didn't even make sense. In fact, it could have just been the director, just like the only person in this movie. Because it was a GoPro, it was the perspective was a GoPro. This guy gets out of his car and then with a surfboard and runs out towards the beach. He goes into the water, and then as he's swimming in the water with his surfboard, he goes underwater. He puts his head underwater for less than a minute, and it comes back up, and then it ends. I don't know what it has to do with gravity. Did I miss something? I might have missed something. All right, the H though. H was hilarious. Also a very, very, very weird one. But that one's honestly kind of funny though. We're back on being funny. So it takes place in I'm pretty sure it's Germany, because I'm pretty sure they're speaking German in it, but also it's some Nazi strip club, so I'm pretty sure it's Germany. So what's happening here is there's this dog. It's like animal people. And it's this dog who's a pilot, probably because of dog fights. I mean, that's my best guess. And he's drinking beer, and then the curtains open up on the stage, and then some fox stripper comes out. Yeah, they're like furries pretty much. It's a bunch of furries. She lures him in, and then they something happens where she hits him or something, and then they fight, and then she pulls out some big contraption, with a bunch of buttons, and then she pushes one of the buttons, and then the floor under him just opens up, kind of like the pit in Austin Powers, and then he's supposed to fall in, but he doesn't. He's just about to die. There's like water and then electricity inside. And meanwhile, all of this, I'm trying to figure out what H is, what H could mean. Then he remembers Winston Churchill's speech where he says never surrender, and then with the power of that, and just like all anime characters with the power of just a single thought, he gets up and then throws her down into the, he just goes like bang, and then just throws her right into the hole, and then she dies of this electricity. So after all that, the H stands for, you guessed it, hydroelectric diffusion. Okay, so the I, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember too much what happened with the I, but it had something to do, wait, okay, it just came to me. Some guy sitting on a toilet just looking at a syringe full of something, and then he goes over to the shower curtain, and then he opens the shower curtain, and there's some girl that's chained up in there, and he just injects her with this drug thing, and then she like gets in all this pain, and then she like bends over the, like sticks her head out of the bathtub, and then she starts itching, and her skin like progressively comes off. Like as she's itching, she's just like that, and then skin comes off, and then she kind of like starts throwing up a little bit. I'm eating while I'm watching this movie. Okay, this was one of the times where I reach into the bowl, and I'm like picking up like some chips or something, and right as I see, I'm like, nah, I'm good. It was a little disgusting. Just her skin starts coming off a little bit, and then it ends, and then she dies. So I stands for ingrown. Didn't understand that one either. But the next one is some Japanese thing. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it starts with a J, and it's going to be right here. This is what it is. This is the word. And it's just this guy making weird faces as another one's trying to decapitate him. And there's a pretty funny meme, not funny, but there's a meme from this actually that you might recognize. Yeah, shortly after that, he gets decapitated, and that's the end of the short film. I don't understand that one. Okay, yeah, this is where the weird ones start coming in. K stands for klutz. Yeah, that one was just, this is just a random one. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what happens. That was such a forgettable one. It was nothing too important though, I'll tell you that. Next, I gotta say that L is the most disturbing in the entire movie. By far the most disturbing in the entire movie. And probably the most disturbing short film I've ever seen. So this one focuses mostly on like torture. I really don't know how to say anything of what happens in L in nice, friendly terms. I like kid-friendly terms. I have no idea how to do it. Because L stands for libido. That's like the sex drive hormone or something. This is supposed to be some torture chamber where they test that. So they chain up two guys. They chain up two guys that are naked, but you don't see anything on them. And then they keep bringing out like a bunch of women that are naked, of course. Yeah, I'm surprised there was so much nudity in this movie too. I didn't think that would happen at all. I honestly did not expect any of this. And they have to test each other, or well, they're being tested, forced to be tested. They're chained up in this chair, and they have to look at them, and they have to go at it and see who can finish first, and whoever finishes first wins that round. The other one is killed. They keep going on to the next stage and the next stage, and it gets progressively more disturbing. Like they bring out one girl who's like doesn't have a leg. Like I don't know if I want to. I don't think I want to keep talking about this one, but it was pretty messed up. Like somebody made that short film and put it in ABCs of Death. if I were to take any bright side of it, the cinematography was pretty good on it, I would be honest. Okay, M though it's probably the shortest one. It's M is for miscarriage. So all it really is just this lady looking down at a toilet and then grabbing a toilet plunger, and then you just see the camera pans into the toilet and it's just blood, and that's it. It's actually not graphic at all, really. It's not graphic. It's just short. It ends. It's like not even a minute. The next one is for N is, I have no idea how to say this word. Maybe you all know. Here it is. And it's about a talking bird. And yeah, this guy just brings back a talking bird to say the right things to his wife to impress her, and he wants to propose to her, so he trains the bird to give a ring to her. But then right after she's like considering the answer, the bird says all of the sounds and all the words he heard from the previous night with the guy in another girl. So she gets mad, takes a knife, and just kills him. Could have waited for K and say death by knife or something. Okay, O is a very, very artistic one. Knowing this movie, O stands for orgasm. Yeah, it does. It actually does. But it is very artistic. So like I'm not too big of a fan of nudity in movies, to be honest, unless it's in good taste. Like the random gratuitous nudity I'm not too big of a fan of that. I don't really promote it unless it's absolutely necessary. But this one, I think it was necessary because it was very artistic, kind of like 365 Days, if you've ever seen that. That was a very artistic movie. Like the cinematography was amazing, just like in this short film. Cinematography was amazing. But what I didn't understand was that she would like blow bubbles out of her mouth, and then like when somebody would pop the bubbles, like there was one massive bubble, and whenever it popped, she died. That was it. The end of that. Okay, P is pressure. I literally have no idea what happened in this one. This was probably the longest one, and I have no idea what happened. It was just some lady walking around some city, and I don't know if she was a prostitute. I don't know if she was something, but she gets with a bunch of other guys. I mean, she doesn't really do anything, I don't think. Nothing even happens. I don't even know if there are any words. Yeah, a lot of these don't actually have words, probably because directors knew it was going to be different languages. But yeah, I have no idea what happened in Pressure. In fact, I don't even remember a death in it. Okay, so Q is actually quack, which is really funny, like what a duck would say. And it's in English. It's about these two guys who are trying to direct a short film for ABCs of Death, and they want theirs to be the only one with a real death. So they want to kill a duck. So they take both their guns and try to kill the duck, but one of them's like, wait, hold on a second, mine's jammed. So he's like accidentally pointing it at the next guy, and he's trying to figure it out, and then he accidentally fires. He fires it, it kills the other guy. He fires back, it kills both of them, and the duck survives. I don't see how the quack killed them. I'm no professional or anything, but I don't think duck starts with a Q. Just the quack, and that had nothing to do with it. Duck didn't make a sound the whole movie. R is removed, and this is also another weird one. It's about some like psychotic guy in like a hospital, and he's like super deformed, but you don't really see too much. It's just occasionally people coming in and just like peeling off a layer of his skin. He goes in front of an audience, and then they all like kind of lick him. I don't know. Literally so random. And then he gets out and he escapes, and then he just goes over to a train, and the train I don't know if the train moved or not, but he died. Yeah, see, that one doesn't make sense either. Most of these don't make sense. I don't understand it. So S is speed, and this one, it's about this one lady who's kind of I don't know if she arrests, but handcuffs this other lady, throws her in the trunk, and they drive off. And then you drive down a dirt road really quickly, and then this guy just comes in, and it comes behind them, in his car, and then they stop, so she didn't die by a car crash. They stop, and then they have a conversation. That girl and the guy have a conversation, and the guy's like some grim reaper or something, and he says, "It's your time." And then she wakes up in like some really, really shady place, and then she flops over and dies. Movies are art, right? Okay, the next one, T. This is exactly what I would choose for T. T is toilet, and it's a stop motion, so it's just a bunch of clay, and it's really graphic for stop motion because they just add a bunch. It gives you the freedom to just add a bunch of red clay to it. And it's about this kid being afraid that the toilet's gonna eat him. So the toilet, he has a dream that the toilet actually eats his parents. So he gets up, or he wakes up and then goes to the bathroom, and then the toilet kills him in real life. Okay, what's next? What's next? U is unearthed, and what that is it's another one of those GoPro perspective movies where there's like some guy, but we're assuming it's some sort of demon or being that isn't human, because it's just in the middle of the forest with like people and cops and stuff chasing this guy, and there's a priest that whenever they get captured, the priest like throws holy water on him. They finally catch him, and then they pin him down, and somebody takes the hatchet. Some guy takes a hatchet. Guy also decapitates him, and you just see, it's really cool how he picks up the camera like it's your head, and then it looks down, you just see the body there. I don't know, that's pretty cool. And then it shows you U is for unearthed, and it's a great title for the short film, but what's very disappointing is that it's supposed to be a word that describes how you die, and none of these are really showing that except for toilet and fart. Those are how you die. So the next one for V, I actually had to look up how to pronounce this one. Vagitus or something. V is for vagitus, which is like a baby's cry. And what that one's about, that one's like, I think it's the only one that's actually in action instead of horror related genre. This lady and then this big police robot who's like massive RoboCop. Think of RoboCop slash Cyborg slash Big Hero 6. That's basically what it is. And he's firing bullets at like all these people in some random warehouse, and they there's like three of them. There's like a family of three hiding, husband, wife, and then their baby, and the robot just tears all of them apart. Then there's like scientists come in, or not scientists, yeah, scientists actually, and some detectives. One of them picks up the baby's head, and then it like, after like a minute or so of just backstory that nobody cares about and doesn't matter, the baby like starts crying or something, and then the robot pins it as a target, and some guy's holding the baby's head, and then he gets absolutely annihilated, like completely destroyed. He was killed in this world and the next, kind of. That was that. Okay, so W is another one of those short films. It's another one about the directors actually trying to find out what to put in ABCs of Death, and they can't decide on what to do for W. One of them has an idea of walrus, which I would have been fine with. I think we need something that's a little bit more light, something lighter in this movie. So they have W, and then they fill it with a bunch of, they just say all these theories of how things could happen, like witches and stuff. I don't have any other examples, just witches and walrus. They said a bunch of other things. It's like just a compilation, a mad compilation, like you're on drugs or something, of just all of them being thrown at you and just weird, cursed looking stuff. It's very low quality too. Like the quality is not good at all. The guy said, and then it shows W is for WTF. And that's it. I don't know how to describe it. It's so crazy. It's so insane. So X is a pretty weird one because this one takes place in France, and I can tell because I speak French because I picked up two of the words. It's about this lady who's walking back to her house from the subway. not the food place, but the train subway. All these people that go by are making fun of her for her weight, and she's supposed to be, like, everybody's calling her fat and stuff like that, which is weird because she's not even that fat, to be honest. She kind of looks like 60 to 70% of Americans, but you know, different world in France, I guess. So she gets so sick of it, she goes back to her house, eats a bunch of food just from her fridge. Like she's like shoveling this crap in. Then she goes into the shower. She's like she's so sick of it. She goes into, not the shower, the bathroom. She goes into the bathroom, takes her skin and takes like a knife and then just starts cutting away at herself just to get all of that off. And then she goes into the shower and then she takes a chainsaw and then, luckily we don't see the whole thing, but she takes a chainsaw and then the camera like fades in and fades out and fades back in to her walking out of the shower. She's got no skin, and then she flops over and dies. She took off all that fat with a chainsaw. I mean, that's one way to do it, but I'd prefer to not do it that way. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, X stood for XXL, like extra extra large. Alright, so next one on Y. It was a pretty weird choice what the director chose for his word. It was young buck. All the Y words you could possibly have and you choose young buck. Anyway, it's about some kid, he shot a deer, killed the deer, and then we go on to like his school or something, and there's this like old janitor guy who's like watching the kids basketball team there play in the gym, and he's just watching them. He looks at the kids on the benches and how much they're sweating on the bench. So whenever they leave the basketball court, he like goes up to the bench and he just starts licking it. Like the sweat, he just starts licking it. I don't know why, but he just starts licking it. But it's like you can clearly tell that it was just water that the director threw down. You could tell. It's so viscous of a fluid. Like it's just it's so fake. Shortly after that happens, that kid that killed the deer comes into the gym with the deer head and just impales the janitor guy with the horns, like right in the head. He puts it right in his eyes, and then he rips off the head, and then he throws it up, and it goes into the basketball hoop and on the ground. And then the kid looks at it and then puts the deer head on his head. It's so strange, it's funny. Okay, so the final one here is for Z. I don't know how to pronounce it because it's Japanese again, but here it is. Another one of the strangest ones. Like, because this one definitely by far had the most nudity in it. And it wasn't in good taste. It was just kind of just... What happened here, it was just... in fact, I'm playing the thing in my head and I don't actually know how to describe any of it. It's just a random... You could tell it was just to show nudity. That's the only reason why. I didn't expect it at all, to be honest. Two girls fighting. So, two naked girls fighting with this guy in a wheelchair who's not naked. Just watching them fight. And one of them is just some regular girl. And the other one is... this one's actually kind of funny, too. This other lady, she's just... She's got like God gave her the wrong parts here, all right? She's got like this mask like out here, and it's got a sword on it. You can tell it's so fake too. This isn't like a disturbing thing. This is like, it's not meant to be, I can tell it's not meant to be disturbing. It's like how it's more of a comedic thing. I mean, it was kind of funny, kind of wasn't at the same time. So the other girl like takes hold of it, takes the sword part out, and it just cuts it. Like, but it's, once again, it's comedic. It's not, it's like whenever you're watching a comedy movie and like when there's like some violent bloody part or something, like you can tell you can just tell how fake it is. Yeah, that's what this is. It's more of a comedic thing. But it's so random. It's like it bleeds out or something, like rice. I don't know. And then these other guys just eat it. I don't know. It's so random. It's so random. I don't know what happened. And they're speaking. I mean, like there are like words in this one. Like they speak Japanese. I just don't care what they're saying because I'm still trying to process what I'm visually seeing. And then that's the end of the movie right there. So that's it. I mean, it sucks to be the guy that has to have Z, but because you know you're at the bottom and the last on the list. But there it is. That's the whole movie right there. And then it just goes into the credits, which are like epilepsy colors. Yeah, it's just very bright colors just flashing at you. But then there's this, but during the credits, like the beginning of the credits, it's like this upbeat song about a horror movie on the TV, and it's just, I mean, like you haven't listened to it, you'll listen to it. Right there on my TV, shocking me right out of my brain. You can't disagree that music was some fire. Like I'm on the couch, I'm like, dang, look at this girl snapping along with it and everything. And then the music stops suddenly, and it goes into like this really, really creepy background sound, kind of like the back rooms. And then the movie ends, and I'm like, thank God that's over. So as you can tell by my professional movie review here, I didn't really like it too much because it was just so random and the words were wasted. Like such a good idea was just wasted on this. It was not a good movie. It was very extreme. It was like very bloody. And there was just a lot of nudity going around, more than there should have been. I mean, it definitely not NC-17 yet, but very, very far into that R-rated spectrum. So they also came out the next few years with a second one and then a third one. If you covered all 26 letters in the first one, what are you going to do for the other ones? Numbers and symbols? It doesn't make sense. I think I should make a comedy video next. Anyway, that's all I got here. Wasn't too good of a movie. Don't waste your time watching it, but it was very weird. Yeah, that's it. I'm out.